Welcome everybody. This presentation is on Semantic-UI. So a little bit about Semantic. It's a front-end framework created by Jack Luchik. I think that's how you say his name. I could be wrong. It started in 2013, like end of 2013. I think the first commit was around October, but it started growing really fast and got traction before it was ready. So he had to actually hurry up and create a website just because there were so many people interested in it, wanted to try it out. So the semantic, behind the naming of it is that it uses natural language and it's linguistically semantic, so it's easier to write. And it has all the basic components like grids, forms, modals, all that, and then a few nice-to-have components like comments, feeds, dimmer, and shapes. Support for all the new browsers, so let's just dive right in. Don't need it, but just in case. Alright.
Is it focused mainly on UI?
It's focused mainly on UI.
Like a full kind of
No. It's just front end. Yeah, so it's sort of like Bootstrap. So let's start out with creating a little menu. So those of you who know Bootstrap, how would you do it in Bootstrap? Like, what would be something you would do? Just a regular menu bar with a header, like a little brand thing with like 4 tabs. So do div class equals nav bar, like that, or
I think it's one.
You think it's one word? All right. That, and then you have to do something like, well, you also need a header, right?
Yeah.
So you'd say something like nav bar dash brand, I think, right?
That's just for the logo.
Yeah, something. Yeah, right. So with semantic, all you do is nav class equals UI menu, and let's end that here. And then we can do something like h3 class equals header item, and then let's call it a brand, and then a class equals item tab 1, and then we can paste that a bunch of times. So let's save that, and boom, there you go. It's as simple as that. So so I have Live Reload, the little app that Mike showed the other day during his presentation. I have that running, so it'll automatically refresh it as soon as there's any change.
So, quick question. Does this work with like older browsers too?
So they say most recent, newer browsers, it's not going to support IE8. It's at IE10 plus, okay. Because some of the things like they have this thing called Shape, which has 3D effects to it. You can like rotate all that. So
the nav tag is always.
Yeah. Well, that nav tag was there. I put it there just to show that you can actually use something other than div. I could totally just do something like that. It wouldn't make a difference.
Okay. We don't support IE8.
Yeah. So
is the H3 there required, or is
nope, that could be an A. I mean, it doesn't matter. It just makes that bold. So you're no longer, tied to just one element. You could pretty much use just about any element, even the newer ones. So there you go. And for this to work, let's go in here, and I have this ready jQuery function here. So let's do a.item function, and then we'll just say item class active, and then we'll say this class active. So if I save this, now I should be able to click, and there you go. So Semantic also has something else really nice, is colors. That their colors are pretty standard everywhere around. You have your basic color, like if I say red menu, all of a sudden I can do that and it's red. I could also actually put this back to right here. So now that's all inactive. And you can also do something like inverted colors. So now everything else is red except the insides, and that works pretty nicely. I mean, that's not the most beautiful of colors, but hey.
More than one color on there?
What do you mean?
You put red and blue?
Like here?
Yeah, like how blue text.
It would just override it. I mean,
Whichever one's lower on the CSS sheet.
yeah, yeah. It's just, yeah. I mean, you could do something like, you know, here I could say red here, I guess, and then I could say blue here probably. And then if I go to this, I could do something like that. But no, you can't put two different of the same colors. Okay, so that's nav. Let's talk about something else we use a lot, grid. Once again, let's see, Bootstrap, how would you do a grid? So div class equals row, right? And then you have these weird col-lg-1, right? Yeah. With Semantic, all you do is say div class equals UI. I don't know, how many columns? 4? 4 column grid. And then div class equals column, and then we'll say 1. If I save this, there you go.
So 20 columns.
Thing with that, it only supports up to 16. Why 16? I don't know. Maybe they wanted to 4 up Bootstrap, because Bootstrap goes up to 12, right? So they said, you know, hey, we'll go up to 16. Why not?
Makes me wonder what their CSS is.
So there you go. Well, you can always go look at it. It's all on GitHub. So yeah. So let's go here. Let's go to Lipsum. Take this. Whoops.
You know, Sublime will do that form if someone's free.
What?
There's
a generator form.
type
Oh.
lorem and hit tab.
Do what?
Type lorem and hit tab.
Where? Just in the.
It's right there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Snap.
That's awesome.
That didn't come out the same.
Well, you know, whatever. I don't really care. What the heck?
There you go.
The heck happened here?
Yeah, word graph.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. If I save this, if I go back here, oh, there he goes. So here, if I just make it a 4-column grid, save it, there you go.
So is that the title of the column?
What do you mean?
Or is that one of the cells in the
The content of a column.
It's just the content of the column, like it's
There's
just,
only one row.
no, so you see how it says 4 column?
Yes, there's only one.
Yes,
row.
there's one
There's
row.
one row.
Oh, 1 row, yes, 1 row, yes, sorry. I wasn't quite sure what you're asking. Can you do something else with that? So, like, there's different text there, and so it's just the first line. I mean, whoops. I like it, but all right, here you
You
go.
can just do that twice if you need it more.
Meh.
Just 2 lorums.
No, I just wanted different text instead of the same text. So, and this is also perfectly responsive, so we'll actually, you know, go and do all that with it. Some other cool stuff that we have here with Semantic is let's give it a color red. Why not? And if I save, boom, there's that. So there you go. If I save this, there it is, and you know, let's make this, I don't know, that craziness right there. And now I want to create a divider there. How would you create a divider? There you go. Yeah. And but let's make it a little bit fancy. Let's add a little icon in the middle. One way to do that is you have to say that this is a horizontal now. As it says, every element inside this divider will be laid out horizontally. So here, I'm going to say, I don't know, GitHub. I paste that. There you go. And these icons, they are ported from Font Awesome by Dave Gandy, and they are 400 and what is it, like 36 or some odd number of fonts. Let's see if I can find it here. And you go here, you see all these fonts right here, or all these icons right here. And they all have weird names. So what Semantic guys have done is actually taken that and made them more semantic, so they're easy to use. So all you have to say is, hey, I want a GitHub icon. There you go, GitHub icon. There's no need to type glyph icon space glyph icon dash GitHub. You know, I mean, why would you do that, right? It's really for you. You're with using front-end frameworks, you're already mudding up your HTML so much. Why muddy it up even more, right? So let's keep going. Let's do that here as well. And there you go. There's your desktop icon. Another thing going along with the responsiveness of the grid, Semantic actually hide and show your different grid columns depending on what you set the visibility to. Do that, all you need to do is say something like computer. So now this will only show up for computers. It won't show for anything else. Here I'm going to this is for mobile, and here I can say this is for. And this one I'm going to save it. Should be able to do something like that. There you go. So that's always going to show. That's going to change depending on what it is.
It's based on the size.
Mm-hmm. And the sizes are kind of weird. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it does use certain size to actually, show what it needs to show. I'll look that up. They chose a really weird, like 792 pixels or something. Yeah, they're standards for it. So it was important enough to memorize what those sizes were. I mean, you can tell that it updated. There you go. So Semantic, since it's still pretty early in its days, it's not fully responsive. So one example of that, the class and say signed. See that it's there, right? But if I make this smaller, boom. So that's a problem with it currently. Bootstrap will automatically compress it down and make it nice with a little button so you can hide and show all that, right? Semantic, that's what they're planning on doing pretty, soon. So that's one of the incomplete things that they have. They're still working on it. Yes.
So couldn't you just have it so the link is like desktop and tablet, and then on mobile or something?
Sure, you could. Yeah, you could. But I mean, with Bootstrap, it's all just in one. So if you just kind of make it small, it'll just automatically do it, right? So with version 1, when they actually finally hit version 1, they're planning on doing more responsive stuff. So there you go. So now let's shift gears, and here, let's see. So and then we'll Then we'll also say that this has drop. Oh, it's probably my Windows. It's all weird. And we'll just leave it. And let's see if I can find this right here. This word wrapping sucks. That looks better. Oh, let's do that. Let's one more div. There you go. Is that correct? Look right? It doesn't look right. Maybe I'm missing one more div. Nope. Let's see. No. Well, there you go. I mean, it's there. Doesn't work yet because I don't have the JavaScript to actually open and close. Let's take this and paste it one more time down here, and then change it to. Okay, and we could also make this actually active, and then the content also. So that shows. So now if we go in here, all we have to do this now. Whoops, that didn't. Did I spell it right? No, I did not. I missed it. Right. That should work. Yep, there you go.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's a pretty looking accordion, right? So say you really like this. I mean, Bootstrap has something like this. I'm sure Foundations does too. Every framework will have something similar to it, but you really, really like this, right? You don't want to pull in the entire semantic framework just to use that. So Semantic has something where they give you individual modules like components, so you can just pick and choose what you like, what you want, and what you don't want, so you don't have to include everything. So it's pretty, it will play nicely with every other framework. The only problem with this right now is that I don't have the icon, so for that I just have to paste. So now I have the icon, but I don't have the nav bar, I don't have the message, you know, the divider, I don't have all that. I could pull those in individually if I really like them, but there you go. So now I don't need to mess with, you know, all the other nonsense and pull them in, just make my resources bigger. There you go. So now let's shift gears, throw all this away because I don't really need to have all this, and let's delete. All right, now I'm gonna. What's up?
You're missing JavaScript.
I'm missing.
Doesn't say semantic. Line 8.
Oh, thanks. There you go. Okay. Everything's normal. It's fine. So now let's look at something else, and I'm going to cheat here a little bit and pull in my form and my modal. That's a form right there. We can take a look at the classes here. So all you say is UI form segment. The segment is just to make it so that it's in a nice little area right here. If I take that out, notice that there is no border around that, so let's just make it prettier. And here it's saying that we have two fields. The first one is first name, second one is last name, and that is that. So it is also responsive. The form itself is also fairly responsive, so it'll actually move them up and down, shift and right, do all that. So it's nice. And then after that, on a new field, we have a username and password, and we have a modal down here. And for that one, that's also pretty simple. So UI modal, close icon, header, content, and content left and right. You can specify things like that, and it will automatically shift in right and left. And you also have actions, with a negative button and positive button. And if I press this, nothing will happen right now. But I can go in here and say something. One click, I could do something like if I can spell function right, I can say I click this button, oh, there's your modal. And that modal also is responsive, so if there is no room, it will move that down as well. And that's a nice looking modal, I think. First, do what? Yep. If it has room, it'll move it out, make it nice and clean. So there you go, that's form.
So I know a lot of screen readers and stuff for accessibility will look for a form tag for forms. So if you're not using a form tag here, can you still if you want to?
Yeah, this is semantic, remember? Nothing changed. It's still a form, right? So, and let's see. So, something cool that I really like about Semantic is that they have built-in validation for forms, so you can actually create validation rules and stuff like that. And here I'm also going to cheat a little bit. And here's my get this also here. And to make that work, I'll here say hopefully with any luck it should tell me that, hey, look, that's annoying. Let's just delete that. We don't really care. But there you go, you saw the validation failed, but there are no messages. To show messages, you can pass in arguments here, like now if I submit this, it will tell me what the error was. And I can start typing, and if I put in a password, it'll say a password must be at least 6 characters. So if you look at this right here, let me type this. So here all you do is you say, what are your different validation rules right here, and the identifier for the actual field that you're validating in the rules. So there's empty, and then the prompt, what you say if it is empty, last name, first name, and then you can also do multiples in an array like that. And the rules that they give you are, holy crap, I was not counting on that to change like that. Let's see. Oh, crap. Let's make this bigger. There you go. There are all your rules right there. So empty, email, length, not, contains, as, max length, match, you're all checked. So they give you some basic ones that, there might be sometimes, where you actually want to create your own. Like, say, your password needs to be bigger than, or it needs to have at least one number. For that, all is we do .fn put in another under And then we pass it, and we say var do something like dash and test that value, and then return. What you do is you rule name from down here as a string, a number, this, and go back. If I submit, there your error. As soon as that hits, it'll tell me it needs a number. So if I put in a 1, perfectly happy, and it's good to go.
Do the prompts show up in the order that you list them?
Mm-hmm. So another thing about those inline validation, I really hate them. I don't like them at all. It looks ugly, I think, for anything. In some of our projects, we have a little box to the right with all the validation errors, right? To add that, that's as simple as save that, and if I hit submit, there it is. So they're all the ones that have failed. Only problem with that is that doesn't actually update. If I do something like that, then it will tell me, you know. And if I give it a number, there you go. So that's forms with modals and all that. You also have right here, you can also do things like and you say, you know, why not? And if I submit this, it won't show up, but as soon as I whoops. What did I do wrong there? Anyway, I have an example of that for that exact reason. There he goes. So now if I submit this, nothing. There you go. So I don't know what I screwed up there, but we can look at the JavaScript again. Oh, UI.modal. Huh. That shouldn't have mattered, I wouldn't think, but we can try that. Go back here. Okay, still errors. If I submit this, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Not really sure where I screwed up, but it's there somewhere. Something else that's cool is you get tracing. I don't know, yeah, that was smart about that. There you go. So it is not a full-fledged logging for everything that goes wrong and right. It is tracing, so it's tracing the behavior of the JavaScript. So it will, let's expand that out. So it will say things like what it's doing. It's not very specific. I couldn't really figure out how to add that to make it more specific. I tried to find out, but since documentation is so not well done, not complete at the moment, that it's not all there. But anyway, you can see that, you know, form has errors, it's adding the form error messages. So with this, you can actually figure out what's taking long. So if you have something crazy animation going or something for one of your shapes, and it's, you know, just hogging all your resources and it's super slow, you can kind of look at this and see, you know, where it's kind of really straining and where it's taking a long time, and try and fix that. So there you go. That's Semantic with some of its awesomeness. And here are all the documentation. Some of the pages, you know, is pretty basic with examples right here. Others have a pretty nice. But yeah, so they give you examples. You can kind of look at the code behind the scenes here and see what it's doing. So some of the pros, individual components. So and then you also have real-time debug output. Mix and match with other frameworks. It's completely tag agnostic, so you can use any HTML tags, and it's really pretty, I think. I guess that's. And then it's still a work in progress. Pre-release version 0.18, and that changed 2 days ago. It used to be 1.7, and then I was working on it, and then suddenly something didn't work. I was like, oh crap. And it's not as feature-rich as other frameworks. It doesn't have everything yet. The API needs a lot of work. Future, they're looking to do video support, adding something like a search functionality baked in, so it's easier to do. More visibility classes, so we saw that mobile only, tab only, that goes with the responsive. They wanna do responsive first. And then here are all the links where you can get them. There's their GitHub, completely open source if you want to contribute to them. So, any questions?
I noticed that a lot of the what's it called, hammers, you kind of have to write yourself for unsuccessful model and stuff. I know that kind of Bootstrap has a lot of that stuff baked into tags.
It is.
So
Yeah.
Are they planning on supporting?
I'm not sure. I looked at their, kind of their roadmap is what they were planning on GitHub, and it didn't really show anything like that. Could have changed last time I checked. So, I mean, it's still version 0.18. So, I mean, fingers crossed for something awesome when one finally
it
hits.
seems like they could automatically wire up the accordion for you.
Yeah.
Forms,
Yeah. But also a lot of things like showing up a modal on submit. I mean, So yeah. Validation objects. I mean, you could not give it any kind of validation. You could write your own, right? You don't have to use theirs, but they provide it, so why not use it? And you can always extend it. So.
Yeah, the validation's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you could probably generate a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
I guess can you style the validation results and stuff?
What do you mean, style of validation results?
Coloring and all that kind of thing.
The
But if you wanted to make the bunch,
like this stuff?
Yeah, well, I know that one you put in your own div.
Yeah.
So like even the line. Yeah.
I submit this. Nope. So it's an error. I'm not sure if there's anything like warnings that I can do. Sure. If I submit, nope. So it sees that it's an error message field, and it'll just kind of add its own. So
Semantically, errors are red.
semantically errors are red. That's correct. Yeah.
So these which are
Well, it wouldn't be a warning at that point. I mean, yeah. I don't know if that's even a thing.
I'm just thinking of the the exception. If you want to do like a high contrast style sheet.
Okay.
Or like target attachments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have all the stuff right here if you really wanted to. I don't know. I'm sure there's something to do it. Wonder if there's you can kind of put it inside a message box of color yellow, so put the error. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work out.
Or just write your own CSS sheet.
You could probably, yeah.
After.
Yeah.
Just over to it.
Yeah, you could do that. But yeah, so work in progress. That's my cop out for everything. Work in progress.
That's pretty good.
Do they have support for templates or anything like that?
From what I could tell, they do.
For what?
For form validation or everything.
Just let's say a simple template, not even for validation.
The only place I've seen template is form validation. You can provide templates. I couldn't figure out how to use those either. Let's see if I can find it here. Templates, yeah, right here. So error prompt. So they say modify the settings.templates. Yeah, I couldn't really figure out how to use that, what they're asking for there, but that might actually be answer to your question, but I'm not sure if they actually have full-on templates for the entire thing. So yeah. Yeah, you could use Knockout, yeah. So you just, yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if it has some.
Yeah. Yeah.
anything like that.
You can use, just semantic as a whole. You can use everything, or you can just, take whatever you like and put them on some other things. Yeah. You're not tied down to it. And you don't have to be bogged down by the giant size, even if you're not using anything. So
I know your slide said IE10 plus. Do you know if there's any subset that works with IE9?
I am not sure. They haven't specified yet. His reasoning was that he's added all these crazy animations and transitions, and like if you go,
There's chances are some of it works.
yeah, some of it may work, but he's not gonna guarantee anything. Like here, if you look at this thing, you run this code, so it has all these crazy transitions right here. I mean,
Assuming you're using it.
well, I mean, hey, there are plenty of people who would love to use something like that, so, I mean, I don't know. So for stuff like that, he's like, I'm not even going to bother with anything less than IE10. So, and I don't blame him, so. Works in Chrome, that's all I care about. So, and you can turn debug on and off right here. Let's see if we actually look at that thing, and there he goes. And actually see what happened here. Yeah. There's a little bug with that, I think, where it doesn't have the thing, so you have to open it up and then run it for that to happen. Yeah. So you have all these real-time tracing right here. So. Anything else? We're good? Woohoo!